Good evening and welcome to the Brevard Sports Network. We are live here on the campus of Heritage High School at Panther Stadium as the Heritage Panthers host the South Fork Bulldogs, joined always by Coach Rob Blue. Coach, how are you?
Doing great, man. How you doing?
I'm here. We're doing good. It's Friday Night Football. I'll say it. This is a must-win game for the Heritage Panthers.
Yes, it is. Not just because of their record, but because South Fork is definitely a beatable team on paper in comparison between the skill and ability of the two teams.
Yeah, I mean, just the sheer size of Heritage compared to South Fork in numbers and in size. Heritage is definitely a favorable team tonight. And again, they desperately need this win. They're on the back half of that schedule that they had. They just ran the gauntlet. Didn't come out like they wanted to. But regardless of record, they came out a better football team from the last 4 weeks.
Yeah, and the game last week, I mean, if you hold Vero Beach at 10 points, you really should come out with a dub in that game. And so I'm sure that that's not sitting well with Heritage. They've probably been very hungry all week at practice to get a W, get back on the winning track, and the schedule is set up nicely for them for the next few weeks, like you said.
Heritage will kick off to South Fork to start the game.
And we've seen Heritage through the weeks. We've seen them make great plays, 3, 4, 5 great plays in a row, and then a penalty, a turnover, a huge mistake. So, you know, in the middle of the season at this point, if they can turn that around and commit less penalties, less turnovers, clean up parts of that offense, and figure out who the identity is with the quarterback, I think they could have a great second half of the season.
Yeah, and we've said it all year long. Quarterback play has been a question mark of this team. They have the athletes. They've shown the flashes of what it takes, you know, to be a good football team. But they've also shown some very uncharacteristic things and things like penalties and mistakes that will hurt any football team. And if it could go wrong, it did go wrong for Heritage the last 4 weeks.
Well, and we know the defense has showed they can play with anybody. Just not 80 plays a game.
Yeah. It'll be fielded by number 1 of South Fork. He's going to get to the edge. And I spoke to Coach Panucci, the Melbourne defensive coordinator. Obviously, they played South Fork a few weeks ago. Melbourne beat South Fork 28-0. He told me number 1 is the playmaker for South Fork. Not a bad football team, just young and a little bit inexperienced is what he gave his scouting report on South Fork. South Fork will return the opening kickoff to the 32-yard line. They'll take over 1st and 10.
Very blessed to be here, being able to do a football game tonight, considering we had a hurricane come through Florida. We were very blessed to come out of it unscathed here in Brevard.
Handoff goes to number 1 right off the gut. He's going to be tackled immediately. Gain of maybe 1. Let's see if they spot him. Number 6 for Heritage, the initial, Zach Hicks Jr. and Kareem Parker. I'm sorry, it is Amir Parker. I will call him his father's name all night. Amir Parker and Zach Hicks on the tackle for Heritage. 2nd and 9 for the Bulldogs. Coach, we went down and played South Fork when I was coaching in Melbourne one year in the first round of the playoffs and beat them jokers 4-0. They've had some pretty good teams over the years. They were in Melbourne's district a lot. Tossed to the outside. Number 1's got nowhere to go. And that is big number 5'5", Amir Parker, again with his 2nd tackle of the game. Loss of 3 for the Bulldogs.
And like we always say, East and West is not going to get it done against Heritage.
Good to see Brock Eden back in the lineup tonight for Heritage.
Yeah, that's a huge part of their defense they've been missing the last couple weeks. He plays such a good end that he basically locks down that whole edge.
3rd and 12. Little jet sweep to the action to the right to number 2. He's going to get about 6 yards. He's going to bring up 4th and 7 for the Bulldogs. Is it hula night tonight?
A little bit less. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Hawaii night, something?
Yeah.
Samuel's deep. I know JR is waiting to get his hands on one of these, Coach. He hasn't been able to catch a punt because everybody's punting away from him since week 1. And they're going to kick this one right to him. He does not fair catch it, makes one man miss. Going to try to get to the outside. Samuels again. He's still on his feet.
Nifty.
Down
Nifty
to the
return.
South Fork 44-yard line. And Blue, this game just already has a weird feeling to me. It's just, it seems so calm here. I guess at the end of the day, that's a product of being 1-4.
Yeah,
people don't care who you play.
Yeah, but at the same time, though, I feel like Heritage is very confident coming into this game because to this point on the schedule, this is without a doubt I'm trying to be polite.
Yeah.
The least talented team they've played to this point.
Murray lined up at tailback for the first time this season for Heritage. He will hand off, run right. Murray, big back, gain of. They're going to give him 4. 2nd and 6 for Heritage. 30, I do not know his name, Coach. That is the one that transferred in from Okeechobee. And then number 10 is Murray, the linebacker who is now playing a little bit of offense.
I asked Coach about Francis, the tailback, and he said that he's close to being back, but he's not 100% yet. So.
Yeah, he is dressed, and so I did see Cauley dressed earlier. Owens is still out from last week, and there's a handoff up to number 30 right up the gut. Big run, first down for Heritage.
And when things are going well for Heritage offense, the run is what opens up the pass for them.
Well, do you think that the referee association knew what kind of game this was when they only send 5 instead of 7?
Well, sometimes they reschedule games to Thursday night because they don't have enough officials to do all the games on Friday night. So
the first quarter brought to you by the Brain and Spine Clinic. Handoff again to number 10,
good
and
surge.
He will pick up 2. Number 9 for the Bulldogs on the tackle.
I had a nice duo there in the middle. They drove a guy about 10 yards downfield. Heritage offensive line getting some good push up front.
2nd and 8 for Heritage. Summerall drops back. It's going to throw it quick to Monroe. Makes one miss. Gets back to the outside. TJ Monroe doing all the work himself, and we got a flag flying in. It will be a gain of 14 at the moment. We do have a flag. Blocking the back against Heritage.
Now, I'll say one thing about that run after the catch. It looked great and all, but you're not going to be able to do more than one of those against an Elite 8 Final Four type team.
Correct. Get what you can get and go.
You got one cut, and then you got to go.
Everybody wanting to know how to watch Mel High's football game tonight. It's in Osceola, and my Bulldogs will be done very early.
You hope. No, I mean,
yeah.
You hope not.
Summerall's going to pull this one down. He's going to run it back to the 30. It's going to bring up 3rd down and 9 for Heritage. Now they're going up against a very good Osceola team that is running the wing T.
Yeah. They've always been good for a long time. When time permits and we have some downtime later, I'll tell you about the 2015 game where Heritage went over to Kissimmee Osceola and left victorious. It was a good night for Brevard County.
3rd and 9 from the 34 Heritage. Summerall takes the snap. He drops back. He's going to roll left, throws it quick, intended for Cordero, incomplete. 4th and 9 for Heritage. And Blue, this is kind of been the MO all year.
They got behind the sticks.
Yeah, they got a penalty.
They got a penalty, and when they get behind the sticks.
Yeah, you move the ball, you move the ball, you move the ball, get a
Yeah.
penalty, and here we are, Heritage again in 4th and long.
Yeah.
Heritage will go for it. Summerall with trips to his left. Drops back. He's going to roll left, and we got a flag. False start on Heritage, their second penalty of this opening drive. Bring up 4th and 14.
$16, right? Oh, no, you're right.
Yeah. It's everything just looks very methodical right now.
Yeah. I mean, it's what we've seen. Cross midfield, penalty. But playing behind the sticks, turnover.
Summerall takes a snap. Going to throw the deep ball. Intended for Samuels, off his fingertips, incomplete.
Had two receivers in the same area there. I'm sure that's not how that play was drawn up. But the throw might have faded him off the seam and down to the numbers.
Both receivers had a DB's beat.
Yeah. Definitely a catchable ball, too.
Turnover on downs, 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs on their own 35-yard line.
Yeah, the Heritage offense has to find ways to give the defense a break, because we've seen time after time the Heritage defense be on the field for 70, 80 plays, and they just can't withstand that all night. They hold their ground, keep them in the game all night, but the offense has to sustain drives, flip the field, and give that defense a break.
And that will have another penalty on Heritage. Encroachment on the defense. I believe it's the 3rd penalty of this first quarter already. 25 yards and penalties. Regardless of how many games they win out, they go to the playoffs, they win their district. They don't clean this up, it's going to be another early exit. Pass completed.
That's a great throw.
Gain of 4.
Hanging in the pocket there.
Took a shot.
3 guys hitting him on the throw. Long out pass, never easy.
Not from the left hash. 2nd and 1. Handoff up the middle to number 1. Loss of 2. Number 11, Hancock in on the tackle. Third and short, 3rd and 2 for the Bulldogs.
Lots of movement pre-snap by South Fork.
And Heritage will jump off sides again.
It's funny you hear people yell, "Watch the ball," but it's really as simple as that, Coach.
It isn't. It can't be any more.
Sometimes you
simpler
hear
than
people yelling stuff from the stands, and, you know, like when people fumble, they're like, "Hold on to the ball." All right, well, you know, maybe he wasn't holding it right. Maybe somebody needs to show him how to hold the ball right, or, you know, but when it's watch the ball, it's literally watch the ball. Doesn't get any simpler than that.
5:25 left in the first quarter. Officials timeout, water break. We want to thank the Brain and Spine Injury Clinic for sponsoring tonight's broadcast. I know Caleb Chase has the banner on the screen.
Watching my Detroit Tigers tonight, Coach. They're 3 games up on the wild card spot with 3 games left. Playing the White Sox, the worst team in Major League Baseball. So they can hold off the Twins for these 3 games. They'll make the playoffs for the first time since 2014. Sorry, I won't talk baseball anymore the rest of the night.
Justin Verlander days?
Yep, and Max Scherzer. But don't re-sign those guys.
All right, first and 10, South Fork on their own 48 after the penalty by Heritage. 11 drops back. It's going to throw the quick out again. Incomplete. Second and 10.
Good coverage across the board there by Heritage. Inside pressure there.
Drop back. Going to try throwing a deep ball. He's got a man.
What a throw.
It's caught by number 2.
He's going to go.
Steps out of bounds.
What a throw. He had a guy in his face on a blitz. Delivered a beautiful ball. That's a heck of a throw there by that quarterback.
He steps out of bounds at the 15-yard line.
Coach, he stepped into that throw. A lot of guys will fade or sidestep, and he stepped right into that throw. I was going to say before the play started, Heritage not showing a lot of respect to South Fork's passing game. They had everybody within 6 yards of the line of scrimmage.
Right. And Blue, this is a district game. This is a money game. First and 10 on the Heritage 15-yard line for the Bulldogs. Handoff goes to number 1. He's going to stretch it to the outside.
That's not going to happen.
Brought down by J.R. Samuels. Loss of 1.
Got to be inside.
Levin's going to throw this one up for grabs. 2 Heritage defenders run into each other, incomplete. Third and 11 for the Bulldogs. Levin takes a snap. Throws it quick to number 2. Going to be knocked incomplete by number 21.
Dangerous
I believe
throw.
that is Mikey Gillis. South Fork will line up to attempt a long field goal. Kick is up and good. South Fork takes the lead with 4:07 left in the first quarter, 3-0.
put together a drive there, aided by a couple of penalties from Heritage, most notably the 3rd and short offside penalty to give them a first down at midfield. And then a busted coverage down here on the sideline.
I'm good either way. South Fork set to kick off. It'll be kicked and fielded by I.J. Cordero, number 2 for Heritage. Got a big hole. I.J. off to the races and breaks the tackle. Almost gets tackled by the kicker. We got a flag. We got a touchdown. Let's see if this one stands. I believe the kicker did grab him by the helmet blue, but we'll see what we got.
He saw a seam there and hit it. You could tell he saw it because he stayed straight line, didn't slow down, no cut. It's a good job by that Heritage return team.
We got 2 flags on the field, 2 separate spots.
That'll probably be the last time we see South Fork.
Holding against South Fork, personal foul, face mask, offsetting penalties, re-kick.
That'll probably be the last time we see South Fork kick him deep.
Yeah. Well, IJ just ran 90 yards for a touchdown. He's not back there, so.
Well, Heritage has probably a half dozen guys that they could put back there, and
which is why Blue have been so critical on the guys I know. Where's the dynamic? You got these athletes. All right. Well, I don't see a kicking tee on the field. So, Coach Blue, you're right.
No, there
there it goes.
He was hiding it.
Thompson will field it this time, number 9. Thompson breaks the tackle. Thompson's out to the races.
He's
Thompson's
gone. He's gone. No flags.
Back-to-back kickoff returns for Heritage.
You
this
don't
time,
see
this
that
one's
often. You don't
this
see
time
that
it
often.
stands.
By 2 different guys. Which goes back to what you said. They got dudes, man. Rack them back up and we'll do it again.
Well, if we were playing special teams all night, Heritage would be pretty good, right?
Well, and it was a similar hole, too. Very similar, both returns. I think Heritage might have seen something on film where they set up a return right, where South Fork either had a weak player in that lane or they were trying to do some type of crossing and they exploited it. But either way, great job. Big answer.
Kick is up, and that one almost got blocked. I'm not sure if Heritage is missing a wing there, but there was nobody on the edge. All right, so 3:36 left in the first quarter. Heritage up 7-3.
So what are you doing on your day off tomorrow, Billy?
Well, I'm going to go support our 9U team, and then I'm going to go watch Coco and Vero.
Nice.
Watch some college football in between.
What time's that Coco game?
5 or 7. Wish we could have played, but, you know, given the circumstances, I certainly understand. So,
yeah. That's a tough situation.
Heritage will kick this one deep. It'll be fielded by number 2 of the Bulldogs. Makes one man miss, brought down at the 25-yard line. They'll take over 1st and 10. Handoff of the gut, number 1. Nice run. Physical run, still on his feet. Carrying Heritage defender for a 21-yard gain.
That's that guy you were talking about, Omar Mejia, senior. Hey.
Deep ball here. Blue got a man. He has run by number 24 twice now. Incomplete, 2nd and 10.
You leaving already?
No, I'm gonna go get some water from Mom.
Hey, come back. Come back later.
Blue, number 1 with a physical run. Gain of 2, 3rd and 7. I like the way your kid runs the ball.
I'm trying to get a number on the quarterback, but I don't have an 11 here on their Max Preps roster. I've got a 17, Callum Fritz, senior quarterback.
Throws it away. Blue. Brock Eden got tackled by 2 South Fork players.
Good job by the quarterback getting rid of that.
4th and long. South Fork will punt the ball. Kick fielded by J.R. Samuels. Absolutely nowhere to go. He's going to lose a couple. Great coverage by the Bulldogs.
MCC up early on Viera, 7-0 in the second quarter.
First and 10, Heritage on their own 10-yard line. Francis lined up in the backfield. Handoff number 30, big hole.
Nice
Makes
cut.
one man miss. Another cut, gain of 16, first down, Heritage.
Transfer from Okeechobee.
That's last I've heard. Yep, moved up here from Okeechobee a few weeks ago. Same play again. Nice run. Gain of 8.
Carmelo Williams. Like caramel.
Carmelo's 33. This is a transfer from Okeechobee. Gave him 9 blue, 2nd and 1 for Heritage.
Run game.
And if it's working,
Stick
why,
with it.
why stop? Handoff goes Francis left side. Francis makes one man miss. Francis looks healthy to me across midfield for a Heritage first down.
Yeah, they've been missing him. He brings a spark to the offense.
Handoff, same play again. Blue Francis just he gets skinny in the hole.
Yep. He's a wrecking ball.
First down, Heritage. Gain of 11. That'll be the end of the first quarter. Heritage up 7-3 against South Fork. Vacani Orthodontics, they understand the importance of a great smile. Their expert team provides high-tech and cutting-edge treatment combined with friendly, energetic, and fun-loving service. Vacani Orthodontics welcomes you to join their family and look forward to becoming a part of your smile success story. For more information, call 772-287-8415. The one weekend Duran doesn't take the trip over to Osceola. Melhigh blowing up. People want to watch the game.
Well, they've won 3 in a row. The Bulldogs are all fired up, rightfully so. Well, you know, Scott Grish knows a thing or two about wing T.
Yeah, so does,
'Cause he was at
Panucci. He played in it
Rockledge,
and
yeah.
coached against it with Wilson. But sometimes it's a I got dudes and you don't got dudes thing.
Yeah.
Handoff goes to number 30 again. Big hole. Fights forward. And in blue, they're averaging 8 yards a carry right now.
That's
on
a
this
great
drive.
job on the edge there, sealing the edge, leading up. The only reason you'd throw the ball in this at this point in time is just to work on your passing game and keep balanced.
Now, blue, were those baseball lights just on? Because it got real dark over there.
They're usually always on Friday night.
Second and 3 for Heritage. Handoff to Francis. Gain of 4. First down, Heritage.
Just keep pounding it. Now you get a 2nd and 1, 2nd and 2.
Blue, you see my guy Pompano Steve?
What's he doing?
He been hiding from me for a while. I ain't seen him in a minute. He told me he didn't want no trouble tomorrow. Actually, he's down. He's right there. Summerall drops back. He's got a man deep. Should be a pass interference. And there it is. I.J. Cordero had him beat. Ball was underthrown.
Yes. Let it go sooner. Even and leaving, right?
Always. By the time they get those hips flipped, you're gone.
Even and leaving, let it go.
Should be a 15-yard penalty from the line of scrimmage. Should be a Heritage first down. It was like an 11-yard penalty. That only matters on the red zone 20 and in. Handoff, Colley right up the middle, makes one man miss. Colley spins down to the 3-yard line. Should be good enough for first and goal, Heritage.
Yeah, you're right. They're probably about 8 yards a clip on the run.
Oh, they got a plethora of backs that can run the ball.
And they got a pretty good receiver room. You know, it's crazy. These quarterbacks, if they were to play college football, they might not have as good of receivers when they go to college as they have right now.
Right.
Depending on where they go.
Francis in for a Heritage touchdown. Blue, I don't think they threw the ball that one time in that position.
Just the pass interference.
How'd I miss that? That was, what 3 plays ago and I already forgot?
Yeah, but it doesn't count as a play,
CTE.
technically. Doesn't count as an attempt.
True. You see all the former guys from whatever they all go to school in Minnesota.
Oh, yeah. Northwestern. Minnesota Northwestern.
Kick is missed. So with 10:06 left, Heritage leads 13-3. I'm going to say it, and I'll probably get ridiculed by a lot of people I know, but one thing Heritage got to do, they got to check their egos at the front door. There's a lot of them on the sideline right now. If this team is going to make any type of a run, those egos got to be left at the door.
Yeah,
You got a lot of athletes on this field, a lot of kids that can make a lot of plays.
You got to win a big game.
Yeah.
You know, it's okay to be confident. You want your guys to be confident. But when confident crosses over to cocky and you're not winning the big ones, you got to take it back a notch.
Yeah.
If you don't have chemistry, all the talent in the world doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And it's hard to have chemistry when you have egos. Now, the toughest part for a coach is how you take all those egos, put them together, and formulate some chemistry and bring them together. That's very difficult.
Squib kick down the middle of the field. It's going to be fielded by number 1. And the entire Heritage kickoff team is there. So it'll be 1st and 10, the Bulldogs on their own 23-yard line. Chase, you been doing youth football games? No? Just Caleb? Ah. Craig Bailey in the house with his, look at that camera, Blue. Florida Today, Craig Bailey. See him?
He can see
The
the moon.
size of those lenses.
He can see Neil Armstrong's footprints on the moon with that thing.
Little confusion in the backfield. Loss of 1. Bo Harper, the first Panther on the tackle.
See safety Marcus Hancock in the backfield on a run play. If I'm the offensive coordinator at South Fork, I'm taking shots. They're going to bring everybody up tight like that. You got to go over the top. They've shown the ability to get behind the Heritage defense a little bit.
What we got? Let's see, we had an equipment issue for South Fork. Second and 11. False start on South Fork. If anybody has any scores from across the county, please let us know. Highly anticipated Titusville and O'Galley matchup. Cocoa off tonight. Melbourne at Osceola. Vieira at MCC. Bayside at Astronaut. Cocoa Beach at Space Coast. I believe Rockledge's game was postponed and Merritt Island's game was postponed. Palm Bay and Satellite. Nice ball, nice catch,
Yeah.
Coach.
Yeah, it is. Real nice.
Number 2 on the reception for the Bulldogs. It's going to bring up 3rd down and 7. Handoff goes to 1. Blue, nice run. Cuts it up.
He's close.
Gets north and south. We'll have a 1st down.
I like the call. 3rd and 7, they run the ball. Anticipating that Heritage would be a little bit soft. 3rd and 7, anticipating the pass.
Coach, these guys lost to Melbourne 28-0, but I'm going to have to assume that they made some mistakes because this O-line looks pretty darn, fairly decent.
And the quarterback's thrown some really good balls here early in the game. Made some really good decisions.
Going to throw
There's
the
that
deep
guy
ball.
again. Yeah, they're going at 24 for Heritage.
Ainsley is definitely letting them hear it.
He's gotten behind him a few times tonight. Just not able to connect. They did the one time on the big play. The safety's too far inside in order to help out on that, to help the corner out on a deep ball there. And then when they're in the middle of the field or the far hash, there's plenty of real estate out there to hit that guy over the top.
Handoff goes number 1, makes one miss, right up the gut.
Still going.
Tough
first
run,
down.
gain of 12, first down, South Fork.
Panucci was right. That kid is a pretty good football player. Shifty and tough to bring down. Number 1, Omar Mejia.
Timeout, Heritage. 7:44 left in the first half. I think Mark Ainsley's seen enough of the defense getting gashed up the middle right now.
Yeah, it's a good timeout for Heritage.
O'Galley up 7-3. Looks like Cocoa Beach is up 15-7. Palm Bay up 7-0. MCC over Vieira 7-0. Astronaut over Bayside 21-0. And Merritt Island Christian is winning 24-6.
I thought that Bayside Astronaut game was going to be close.
Yeah, I expected it to be a little closer than that.
It's early yet.
You want my score for the Osceola prediction?
Yeah.
28-0 right now.
Is it?
I have no clue.
Come on, Bulldog. Be a little bit more optimistic than that. You see my man Will Johnson last week against USC. They keep throwing at him, and he's got 2 pick sixes on the year.
Nowhere this time for number 1 to go. He's going to be tackled at the line of scrimmage. Well, Blue.
That's
it would be 34-7 Osceola over Melbourne. I wasn't far off.
No, you weren't.
8:46 left in the second
You
quarter.
almost hit the spread on the money. I was going to say that's a typical result of a Mark Ainsley timeout. He calls a timeout, and they stop him for a loss.
Throwing a deep ball again. Coach Heritage's defenders almost got his hands on that back shoulder. It's like the Heritage, the corners are just standing still.
Yeah, they're getting run by. If you put that ball on the sideline just right, those safeties can't get over there and help.
Timeout, South Fork now. Yeah, Blue, everybody knows my ties in Melbourne, right? I still talk to those guys every day, you know what I mean? So I kind of expected it based off of conversation this week. Like you said, sometimes you just go into a ball game and you're outnumbered, you're outmanned, you're outmatched. The other team is just better than you. But their goal, for them was to stay healthy to finish off the rest of a regular season. Unfortunately, Osceola is a district game, which Melbourne hasn't played since 2004. Mitch Brown get his first win as a head coach tonight.
Who they got?
Battle of the winless, Satellite in Melbourne, or Satellite in Palm Bay.
I hope so. No offense to Satellite, but I love Mitch. Those guys work their butt off over there.
Eleven takes a snap. He's going to drop back. He's going to be rushed. Throws the out route to number 3.
Nice throw.
Wow, Blue, he has thrown a really good football tonight.
He sure has. And he's got guys in his face.
Yep.
And he's stepping into his throws, making nice throws.
It's going to bring up 3rd and 1.
He's throwing guys open.
Yeah.
You know, that's what you want from your quarterback, is to be able to throw to a spot, knowing your receivers are going to go there. Read the defender, make your throw based off what the defender does.
Heritage never even got lined up on defense, Blue. Gain of 6, first down, South Fork.
That's a good job by South Fork, recognizing that they could go quick.
First and 10. False start on the Bulldogs.
Heritage moved first. No.
I think he kind of nudged.
He didn't cross. I guess he didn't cross the neutral zone.
I got a score correction. It was 35-7, so.
So you were spot on with the spread. 28 points.
Officials timeout, water break. Now, Blue, I have to ask you this question because we just had back-to-back timeouts by both teams. Is that an absolute necessary, or is it something that has to be done per NFHS rules?
Yeah, I think it's passed down by the NFHS and all the states follow by it. But yeah, 6 minute, the closest stop to the 6 minute mark. They probably could have got one more play in there, but let's go ahead and get it out of the way. It stinks when you're on offense and you're moving the ball. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
I've had times where we're on a drive, just cooking. Defense isn't calling a timeout. They can't substitute because I'm going quick, and then they call the water break at 6:30, and I'm like, man, you got another 30 seconds. You can't let me go another 30 seconds.
First and 15 for the Bulldogs. 6:24 left in the first half. Number 11 takes a snap. Throwing the out route. Comeback. Blue is going to pick up 6, and that's a long throw.
It is a long throw. And he was wishing he could have been a little bit better throw, so his guy could have done something after the catch, but still a gain, still a completion.
And Blue, I've been watching the line and the quarterback. I haven't really paid much attention to the receivers. Is Heritage running man?
Ainsley mixes it up. He goes half and half. He'll go half field. He'll run one thing on one half of the field, one thing on back half, and it's very difficult for a high school quarterback to know what's going on in front of him.
Number 3 catches the ball this time, makes a man miss. J.R. Samuel's going to make a tackle. We got flags all over the field.
And a lot of times when you're watching film even, it's hard to tell the defensive coverage unless the receivers cross.
Yep.
If the receivers cross and the DBs go with them, then you know they're in man. But they could be in quarters and number 1 runs a vert, the corner's running with them. You don't know if that's zone or man, but
And we're going to have holding on South Fork. That's going to bring the big play back.
Mark Ainsley does a great job making it very difficult for a high school quarterback to understand what's going on in front of him with half field coverages, 2 different sides of the field, 2 different coverages, and then he'll show too high pre-snap and roll down and vice versa.
Replay second down. It's going to be 2nd and 19 for the Bulldogs. Handoff number 1. Big stick. And that's number 10, Murray.
I will say this. South Fork's doing a nice job. When the Heritage DBs are up, they're going over the top. When the Heritage DBs are off, they're throwing those comebacks. So they're recognizing the leverage and taking advantage of it.
I think Ainsley saw enough, and he put J.R. Samuels on number 2. He is now playing corner instead of kind of playing that rover where he was at before. He is lined up at corner now. We haven't seen him at corner much. Jet sweep to number 2. Big hit. Gain of 8. Fourth and 12 for the Bulldogs.
But see, look what that possession did for South Fork.
Right.
They crossed midfield. They gave their defense a break, right? A much needed break after a punishing Heritage drive on the ground. So even though they don't score points, they flip the field and they give their defense time to recover.
Heritage could have blocked that kick if they got there. Samuels calls for the fair catch. It's going to roll, take a South Fork bounce to the 6-yard line.
Nine times out of 10, that ball is going to roll further.
Yeah.
So you want to catch it in the air and take away what could be sometimes a 20 or 30-yard roll, which is basically a loss of yards as opposed to a fair catch.
Heritage takes over 1st and 10 on their own 6-yard line. Summerall takes the snap. He's going to throw it deep to Samuels.
He was capped.
I'll say flag comes in late for pass interference.
That wasn't really there, Coach. He was capped
No,
the
that
whole
was
way.
forced. Yep.
If they're going to put 2 guys on, Samuels, you need to throw to one of
they're
those
gonna
other
wave it off,
studs.
Blue.
Yeah, throw to one of the other guys if they're going to bracket Samuels.
Yep. And rightfully so. The kid is,
Yeah,
a great football player. He's a Division I commit.
it's the ultimate compliment.
It is.
If they're going to double team you without the ball in your hand.
And kids get frustrated and things happen, but obviously that shows the other team has a lot of respect for your athletic ability. Second and 10 for Heritage. Summerall in the shotgun. He's going to drop back. Throws the quick. Number 28 makes one miss. Great block by Samuels. First down, Heritage.
Great job of those linemen getting out there in the flat as well, getting in the way.
.339 left in the first half.
That's one of the things taking deep shots does. It loosens things up underneath for plays just like that.
Well, Balloon, it looks like South Fork sitting in 3 high. Or, I'm sorry, cover 3 with 1 high. Run up the middle, gain of 5.
3:25 left in the half.
Throws the quick out to Monroe. He's only going to get 2.
Good coverage.
Third and 4 for Heritage.
That's a matchup call right there, Coach. You got a guy in the slot on a speed out. You're hoping to lead him, get him the ball early, and be able to turn up on his guy in a mismatch. But great job defensively there by that slot defender. Nice little stop right there. Quick, easy throw.
Jay Cordero on the reception.
Like you said, cover 3. Corners are bailing. Try not to get beat deep. They're going to give you a 10-yard stop route. You take it all day. Plenty of time in the half here for Heritage to mount a drive. .212 left in the half.
Handoff goes to Cauley. He's going to bounce it to the outside. He's got a couple blocks.
Good job on the outside blocking there.
He's going to step out of bounds.
Great job by Cordero and Monroe there on the perimeter blocking. Cauley was looking to turn it up, but he saw blue shirt backs in front of him, so he continued to go outside. Great job by his receivers blocking for him there. Looks like we got a... Was that a holding call? I don't know if I don't think it was on those receivers. They were running their guys upfield. Might have been down there in the box.
It's in a weird spot too, because it had to be 10 yards from where it was at, so it's first and. I'm not really sure where the chains are. That one didn't make much sense. Those are. Gotta get that one up, Blue. Rolling right, throwing right. You got to be able to get that ball on the rope.
Yeah, he was wide open. If he hits him there, he's got plenty of room to do something after the catch.
1:44 left in the first half. Out quick to Thompson. Gain of 3.
Thompson playing a little receiver.
Yep.
He's got the athletic ability to do a lot of things. Timeout with 1:25 left in the half. They've got timeouts left. They can still run the ball here a couple times. We know it's been successful. So 2015 Heritage goes to Kissimmee Osceola, and it was a stormy night. Big game, both teams unbeaten. 3 or 4 games into the season. And the Lightning came in about a minute left in the second quarter. All right, so we go in the lightning delay, go in the locker room for about an hour. Seemed like 2 hours. And Mark Ainsley, and by the time we finally started back up, Mark Ainsley threw the idea out there, said, hey, we shorten the quarters here, the second half. It's getting kind of late. These guys got school. I think it was, no, it wasn't school. There was a couple guys that had to report in before a certain time, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And the Kissimmee coach said, no, we play full quarters here in Osceola. So Ainsley said, okay. So we proceeded to go out in the second half and beat them on their field. The first time they had lost at home in quite a while. But it was a great game and had a great ending.
Summerall drops back. Nice.
Did we have a late hit here after the pass?
No, I think we're going to have it on Heritage O-line for blocking.
For blocking?
Yeah. No, they're calling the Heritage O-lineman for something. All right, Blue. I'm having trouble keeping up with these officials. There is no such thing as a 12-yard penalty. It's 10 or 15 from the line of scrimmage or from the spot. He just walked 12 yards. That's the second time. We had an 11-yard penalty and now a 12-yard penalty. Summerall drops back. Going to throw the quick to Samuels. Covered well. And I shouldn't say never, because obviously if there's a half the distance to the goal inside the red zone, we get that. But we're not in neither one of those were a situation of that.
Heritage pass game having a hard time. The run game works well, but in a 2-minute situation here, the pass game having a hard time getting any kind of
Blue,
rhythm.
You know what it reminds me of? Them guys up in Tally who can't throw the ball upfield. You know, everything's sideways and 4 or 5 yards.
Well, you got one-on-one down here.
Going to throw the quick screen again. Blue, that's not a bad play. It's just it's a hard play into the boundary. Fourth and 12.
Just don't throw anything late to the flats on this, because the last thing you want to do is give up a pick six right before the half. Whatever you do, don't let it be late to the flats. Delay a game.
And I'm gonna be another critique here. He never put his hand up for the 10-second. He automatically went to a 5-second countdown. I only say that because I know these guys from Saturday, so this isn't me being, a critique of them.
All day.
Get the first down, and he will have it. First down. Get the fish to the ball.
Nice job there throwing behind that squat corner on the sideline, but I'm not sure why the corner was squat on a 4th and you want him to throw to the flat and then rally up. But great ball in the window there. Behind the corner in front of the safety for the first down.
South Fork call timeout.
If it was South Fork, that's a strange timeout. You want to make Heritage scramble, especially when they just got to delay a game penalty. The offense is struggling with the play clock and a 2-minute drill. Don't help them out unless you got mass substitution issues.
Summerall throws it quick to Samuels. Gain of 5. Gets out of bounds, I believe, with 12 seconds left.
Here's where I like a skinny. Look that safety off one way or the other and throw a skinny. Oh, look at the skinny. Do you see it, Coach?
Got the first down. Ainsley's going to burn a timeout with 4 seconds left.
He had Monroe on the skinny up the seam. Now you got one play.
We haven't seen a lot of Samuels and Monroe on the same side. That would force a defense, you would think, one way to cover those two guys.
How you doing, man?
Good. How are you? Good to see you.
You too, man.
Been up there watching.
4 seconds left. 1st and 10. This will be the final play of the second quarter. Summerall
Gotta get it go. There you go.
got a man
Wide
wide
open.
open. Touchdown. Nice run and scramble by Summerall. Finds Cordero.
Got behind the defense there.
Well, he was trying to throw the jump ball to JR, and I think he just saw Cordero deep.
That's a great job. We have a guest here in the booth. I'm going to ask my man, Benny Smalls, what'd you see on that touchdown?
A throw.
There it is, a throw.
A throw and a catch.
Well said. Look at you. What did you fall in a mud puddle? What position were you playing?
Safety.
Safety?
Kick is up and good.
You got your J.J. McCarthy number 9 jersey on. Why are you not playing quarterback?
'Cause I don't want to.
So you're a defensive guy? All right. You like sticking people?
Yep.
The hit stick?
Yep.
Yep. Force some fumbles?
Yep.
So what do you think? That's the end of the first half here at Heritage Stadium. What do you think about the performance by the Heritage Panthers in the first half?
Awesome.
All right. Well, you got it. Thank you for the guest commentary there.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye. And the score at the end of the first half is 20-3 Heritage over South Fork. We will see you after halftime.
You okay?
We apologize. The kicker just took one to the house. Back on kick return.
That's the third kickoff return for a touchdown tonight by Heritage. Only 2 of them counted, but
He's got some wheels on him. What's crazy is there was still a minute left on the clock. Started a little early. Touchdown, Heritage out of halftime, Blue. Don't get no better than that.
can't hear you.
Oh,
We weren't on.
yeah, no.
We were late to the party. Sorry about that.
Well, not every day that your punter gets or your kicker gets to run oh, that was terrible. Rock Eaton's going to keep this one. Rock Eaton's going to sneak it in. It's
Just
good.
do it yourself, Brock. That's a football player right there.
(28-3), Heritage.
That's when you go up to the coach and be like, hey, coach, let me get a couple carries tonight.
Yeah. You're making me kick and punt all night. Let me get a touch.
Hey, you get your name in the paper on that one. Eden with the 2-point run.
Had a nice little wiggle to it, too. Oh, Coach Benson back on the sideline for the second half.
It's an acquired taste.
He was up top for the first half. I think it's
You either love it or you hate it. That's why that's why I was sitting up with Daryl Saturday in the press box up at West Melbourne.
squib kick right down the middle of the field. Going to be recovered by South Fork on their own 33-yard line. 1st and 10.
All right, now Heritage, as you pull away from this game, as you should, don't do anything stupid. You know, keep the confidence under control. Take care of business.
Levin takes a snap. Going to throw a screen out to the right. Number 1 is there.
Flag.
Brought down by number 6, Zach Hicks, and we got a flag holding on the offense.
On a screen. That's not good.
Nope, I think Coach Ainsley wants to decline it, but I'm not. How does this work? Who does the head coach come back to being the head coach now he's on the sideline, or is it once you designate, you designate?
That's a good question.
Or is it that important?
That's a good question.
2nd and 12 for South Fork. Heritage will decline the holding penalty.
Pretty sure he can say, hey, White Hat, I'm down here now.
Yeah.
We got 28-3. 14 points on special teams.
Yep, toss out to the right, nice. Got a little bit of a block, Bo Harper there on the tackle, as well as Hicks. 3rd and 10 for South Fork.
This guy played O-line at Bayside back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a great dude. Law enforcement.
Getting up there my dad's age. Too many of them. False start on South Fork.
2006.
And I was only a sophomore, so yeah.
Happens more
18
happens more and more.
18 years ago.
Yeah, happens more and more too.
3rd and 15 for South Fork. Heritage only rushing 3, but providing plenty of pressure, and will incomplete pass. Thought they had him blue. He got the ball out though. 4th and 15 for South Fork.
South Fork with 13 players on the field on the snap of the ball.
Well, yeah, I mean, they had players on the field and Heritage blocked a punt, and now we have an injury. Whole lot of stuff happening on the field right now. Illegal procedure. So bring up 4th and 20. South Fork will have to re-punt.
Battle for the Little Brown Jug tomorrow.
What you got there?
High noon. Minnesota.
When doesn't Michigan play at noon?
Minnesota, Michigan.
They play at noon every week, don't they?
No. A lot of them are at noon, but
They ever have a night game
yeah, every once
when
in
they're
a while.
playing St. Mary's or something?
No. They have a night game about once a year, big prime time. They played USC at 3:30 last week.
Well, that's only because they're from California. California don't want to watch football at 9 a.m.
The Ohio State game's usually at noon.
Penn State.
Penn State game's usually at noon.
What's the reasoning behind big noon? Is that just the Fox thing? Is that a Big Ten thing?
It's a Big Ten thing.
Is it a Michigan thing?
No, it's a Big Ten thing. Big Ten games are usually noon or 3:30. You have your primetime matchup is usually the big dogs. Penn State, Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State. What time's Florida State? At SMU?
It's like, I think it's at 7. I didn't pay attention.
At SMU? Or
Yeah, yep, at SMU.
That's weird that they would go to SMU.
It's a conference game. 8 o'clock, ACC Network.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. The Atlantic Coast Conference. Not throwing stones in a glass house because I know we've got teams out west in the Big Ten now, but it's just weird to me that Cal
Yeah.
is in the Atlantic. Do they still call it the Atlantic Coast Conference?
Yeah.
That's bizarre. I don't think that's going to last long, to be honest with you. I don't think that
That's a lot of travel.
mega conference thing is going to last long. I think there's going to be another shift, whether or not the NCAA can keep it together and it's under the NCAA, or they realign and form some different type of, because it's not, to be honest, it's not amateur athletics anymore.
Yep.
Those guys are getting paid, and it's basically free agency.
Yep.
You know,
All right, Blue, they're going to clear the field. Sounds like they're bringing in the paramedics for the injured player. So we'll get back to action as soon as they are clear. Otherwise, me and Coach Blue will talk college ball. Yeah, don't tell my wife, but I had to put a little bet on Florida State last week, right? But I actually bet that Cal would beat us, so I won either way. I won if Cal won, I won money, right? But if Florida State won,
it's flawless. Yeah,
it's
your
beautiful.
joy is worth more than $100.
Yeah.
And if they lose and break your heart again, at least you walk away with some cash.
There you go.
There you go. You got a system. My man's got a system figured out.
I don't know how many more we win this year, but
As we talk, let's watch how the number of viewers starts to drop.
well, and we are out in West Malabar, as they say, west of Malabar. I don't know where the nearest paramedic station is or fire station is, so. You remember back in the day, Blue, at least when I was playing and I first started coaching, there was always a paramedic on site. There was always
An ambulance.
Obviously the police are always on site, but they used to sit down in the end zone on the track and.
Just in case.
Yep.
Well, when I went with Palm Bay up to Baker County, they had an ambulance on the side of the field, so the smaller one school counties and places like that still do it. But in fairness, I would say Brevard County is growing so fast that the civil engineers are probably overwhelmed trying to figure out how to make intersections and streets more accessible to ease traffic.
Yeah.
Law enforcement and paramedics and firefighters are probably overwhelmed with the population growth.
Blue, do they allow vehicles on this track now? Now that all these schools are going to a rubberized track, I mean, obviously I see golf carts on them, but we're talking about.
Well, I'll tell you this: the amount of money they spend on these tracks, they would much rather have them driving on the grass. And if a kid's in danger, who cares about grass?
7-3 O'Galley, 28-3 Heritage, 22-13 Cocoa Beach, 14-10 Satellite, 21-7 Astronaut, and Holy Trinity 7-3. Last reported score I got for Melbourne was 35-7 with 8 minutes left in the second quarter. I'm sure it's either over by now or on a running clock. Here we are waiting for the paramedics we have an injured player on the field from South Fork. So they have cleared the field, and we are just waiting on paramedics. And we will get this thing going once this young man is up and getting some care that he needs. Where's Uncle Rike with his gator? Rike used to have that thing around Mel High forever.
It's around here somewhere, but if they need a board.
Uh-oh. Don't. Miami better not mess around and lose. Miami better not mess around and lose to Virginia Tech. Did you update to the no iOS 18?
No. 13 mini.
No, not the phone. The software update.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh.
Doesn't it do that automatically?
I don't know.
Let's see.
No, you don't do it now. You're gonna be here all night trying to update.
Update tonight. What's that gonna do?
I don't know. Just update your software. I bought the new one, so it came that way. That Titusville Galley game a little closer than everybody south of Pineda Boulevard thought.
What's the score?
7-3 O'Galley. Obviously, we know Titusville and everybody up there, thought it would be a ball game. But if you were on Spaces today or anything of that nature, you knew that people didn't give them much of a chance.
Yeah, everybody's arguing about Coco Galley. Kind of overlooking Titusville a little bit.
Titusville's got athletes.
Coach Holmes did a great job turning that program around in a hurry.
Yes. Silver Fox tuning in, I guess. Can't even see me. I'm up here talking smack to him. Look at him. He's just looking down.
He's probably just checking all the scores.
I was just waiting to see how delayed it was, see if he figured it out. But I know they sure missed number 15 playing football here.
Oh, my goodness.
What
What a difference.
Would have made a big difference.
Oh, my gosh. What a
Keegan
huge difference.
Would have helped this team a lot, especially offensively.
I mean, it's one thing to have a tight end in high school football. It's one of the hardest positions to fill. But not only was he a tight end who could line up on the line of scrimmage, block physically at the point of attack, seal an edge, but he also lined up at wingback, fullback. He could kick out, he could turn up and catch the football. He was such a weapon, that dynamic weapon that can just totally change your offensive identity.
Yeah, and he stuck with it, right? And the kid he was just a physical freak on the field. So hopefully he heals up and has an opportunity at the next level to showcase his talents and go get a free education.
And his dad's a great guy, by the way.
Yeah.
Does a lot for the Booster Club here.
No sign of an ambulance anytime soon.
I hope that young man's okay.
He was holding his left leg, but, could be a lot of things. And I will say this, he's got one of the best, if not two of the best trainers in Brevard County assisting him right now.
I know there's a station on Jupiter. And then there's obviously a station on Minton. That's station 83.
There's nothing on Malabar this way towards
I think the one on Jupiter over here off of
yeah. And there's one
Jupiter
obviously
and
out
Pace.
Bayside. Yeah, I wonder if the whole shortage of is it because Brevard County is short compared to how things used to be back then? Is there too many high schools now compared to how things were before? Because like you said, you used to always see an ambulance sitting on the track.
Yeah, I mean, the county's growing so fast. If they have a call, they could be out on calls. Who knows if there it is now. Who knows if they you know, are planned to be at games sometimes, but there's calls all night.
Right.
You know. Last thing you want to see at a high school football game is an ambulance
Absolutely. I mean, it's not something you
showing
want.
up.
It's not something you want to use. Andrew, the last known scoring of the Palm Bay game was, I believe, 14-10 Satellite. Last time I saw it, I could be wrong. They were updating it in here in the chat a few minutes ago. Blue, have you ever tuned into Spaces? You have Twitter?
I have X,
X, Twitter.
and I have not. I have not. My friend Billy Palmer tells me about it all the time, but I have not.
It consumes my Fridays and occasional Thursday nights, and not as bad as I used to be on it, but you know I like to instigate Martell. Oh, dialing my dad on my watch. My bad. Not sure what we got going on. Coach Benson bringing Heritage in here.
This is, you know, a time like this, it's good to reel everybody in and make sure they keep focused. Because when you do start playing again, you want to make sure your guys mentally stay locked in and don't drift too far off.
Right. Yep.
It's also a good time to bring up the fact that you don't know when your last play is your last play. You know, just like life, you don't know when your last day is, and as an athlete, you don't know when your last play is. So play every play with everything you got, because you don't know when it's your last play.
21-14, Virginia Tech over Miami. You know, Blue, there's something I used to remind you about every year last year. Yeah, I don't know.
It's not raining.
Oh, is that
You
what it
can't
was?
bring it up.
I knew you would
You
remember.
can't bring that up.
I got you. Okay.
It's not raining.
We haven't talked about that this year, though.
We haven't had much rain.
And we're not. We don't need to talk about it, but
No, we don't.
I couldn't remember what it was that I used to bring up every week, and now you just refreshed me.
I'm sure.
You know, it's probably a good thing that we don't have to turn this camera around like we're Kirk Herbstreit and Chris Fowler. No, look at my ugly self. You know. What
Nobody
I'm saying?
wants to see that anyway.
And I don't got my dog. What is his name? Bo? Something like that up in
Yeah.
here?
That's when the number of viewers really starts to fall off, if they have to look at us. Here's the question, though, with Herbstreit's dog. Who cleans up after the dog? Do they, one of the assistants on the crew, have like a doggy bag and a little scooper and a little spray of poopery that?
I have to assume.
Or does I mean, they probably have a relationship where he gives them the little, he puts his little paw up and taps him on the leg. And he's like, "Hey, I need to go to the bathroom," and then the assistant takes him down
the stairs, outside.
I mean, that's a long walk out to the
Yeah.
spot of grass. Alan's gonna go. Were you guys really talking about Kirk Herbstreit's dog during the?
Yeah, well, listen, we are unpaid non-professionals. We are trying to keep you entertained here until the paramedics can get this young man. Duran says Merritt Island Christian over 4 corners, 44-20. 8-man football. Well, there goes the golf cart with some of them. Stretcher on its way. White Sox break modern MLB record with 121st loss of the season.
The Tigers win?
I just got a notification from ESPN.
Yep, Tigers won. If the Twins lose, the Tigers clinch a playoff spot.
Again, folks, we have an injured South Fork player. We are just waiting for him to get the treatment from the paramedics that just showed up. Once he is cared for, and we can get back to the ball game with 10 minutes left here in the third quarter. Yeah, I'm sure it's nice and muddy. This is definitely one thing you never want to see in sports in general, but especially, you know, high school sports. And
Yeah, and there's a bunch of moms of Little League players cringing.
I saw my first Little League ejection last week for targeting.
Wow. Ejection.
You can actually get ejected in high school football as well. For what he got called on was launching into the quarterback with the crown of his helmet. Almost, I guess you could call spearing maybe.
Spearing.
But I mean, as far as I always knew, it was a 15-yard penalty, but the young man was ejected at 13 years old. I don't know if the satellite game is on BSN tonight, or it could be on Space Coast Daily. I'm not sure if it's being broadcasted.
So my man Tom Walter went up to Detroit this week, and he went to the game yesterday. Going to the game tonight.
Is Tom from Michigan?
Yeah, well, his family is.
Gotcha.
And then tomorrow he's going to the Michigan game, and then Sunday he's going to go to the Tigers game again.
Sounds a lot like a lot of Ron Lugo's trips when he goes up to Penn State. Basketball, football, baseball, hockey, he'll watch whatever.
Well, this is a total Clark Griswold move on his part because he took all 3 kids.
That's troublesome.
4 kids.
He's got the young one now.
Yeah. He sent me a picture of the Tigers game in the first inning, and the little guy Theo's having a meltdown in the first inning. Be like, buddy, you got 8 more innings tonight, 9 innings tomorrow night, 4 quarters on Saturday, and 9 more innings on Sunday. You better pull it together. All right, let's see.
See if I can get a injury update of what they're looking at. It appears that like they're treating him for some sort of a neck injury is what they said. Could be precautionary, could be an injury. Either way, nothing to play with. So once they get him loaded up onto the stretcher, we will continue this game.
What'd you say they were building on the corner there in Milwaukee?
A Medfast urgent care. We could use a Beef O'Brady's or something, but you know, another Medfast is probably
Walking distance to the house? That'd be nice.
walking distance of the old man's house. Well, I guess
It's only a mile from mine. I guess I could walk to.
Golf cart.
I got the Mexican restaurant there. I do have a golf cart. Yeah, I got the Mexican restaurant there, the old Bennigan's. That's closer to mine.
You got a connector road to 192. I was surprised to see an oil change on the corner of 192 and Minton.
Yeah, the old 7-Eleven was it some
Yeah.
oil change, a car wash, and now a
5-minute oil change.
Fifth Third Bank.
I thought something more high profile.
Supposedly it was supposed to be a Starbucks. I don't know what happened with that. Anybody have any updates from other games? Feel free to drop them in. We are close to getting back to action here. Appreciate you staying with us. I know Coach Blue and I can be rather boring here in intermittent time.
Probably very boring. We're like the two old guys in the balcony of the Muppet Show right now, probably. Oswald and what's the other guy's name?
I think that might be before my time.
You didn't watch the Muppet Show when you were a kid? I mean reruns, but it's classic.
That doesn't ring a bell to me.
The Muppet Show. Kermit the Frog,
Well,
Fozzie Bear.
I mean, I know Kermit the Frog, but what years was that?
I mean, it was in the 70s and 80s.
When do you think I was born?
Yeah, but the reruns. I mean,
don't
you've
know.
seen Sesame Street, right?
I mean, I feel like I remember Rugrats and SpongeBob was starting, and
You never saw Sesame Street?
I mean, I'm sure I did. Early 90s.
Muppet Show. Fantastic entertainment. I can never remember the other guy's name. Oswald, and I gotta look it up. It'll drive me nuts.
Slater and Waldorf. Casey apparently remembered.
Slater?
Statler.
Statler.
And
There it
Waldorf,
is.
sorry.
Statler and Waldorf. Those guys are awesome.
I don't know how Casey remembers because she was born right around the same time I was, so. Must have been a New Hampshire thing. They must have watched
So
reruns.
basically, they sit up in the balcony and they just make fun of everybody.
Interesting.
Then they heckle Kermit. They'll be like, "Hey, frog," and then they heckle him in the middle of the show. And then they would boo Fozzie Bear. Fozzie Bear always tried to be a comedian, and his jokes were not very good. And they would heckle him and boo him off the stage. They were not very nice, honestly, but they were funny.
Wow, well, we've been all over the place. We've talked about cartoons. We've talked about Kirk Troop's dog. We've talked college football.
Yes, Michigan is going to retain the Little Brown Jug tomorrow, Linda.
Who are they playing?
Minnesota, the oldest trophy game in college football. The Little Brown Jug. In 1903, Fielding H. Yost took his mighty Wolverines to Minnesota to play the highly ranked Golden Gophers at the time, and they left their water jug in Ann Arbor, so they sent a couple of the trainers downtown to buy a couple water jugs, and the game ended in a tie, and they left the water jug. And Michigan called Minnesota. I don't even think they had phones back then. It was 1903. But they sent a telegram to Minnesota and said, "We want our water jug back." They said, "Well, you got to come back here and win it." So we said, "Okay." So ever since 1903, it's been the trophy between Michigan and Minnesota, the Little Brown Jug. There's a bar in downtown Ann Arbor called the Little Brown Jug. They have a great cheeseburger. That's where Harbaugh got in a little bit of trouble, supposedly buying a recruit a cheeseburger at the Little Brown Jug. There you go. Boom.
History lesson on Michigan football.
There's a lot of trophies, a lot of weird trophies.
They have loaded him up on the stretcher. Once they get him off the field, we will go back to resume play with 10 minutes left here in the third quarter. Blue, it feels like it's been about 45 minutes to an hour since we've played any ball.
Yeah, it's been a minute. So you've got Floyd of Rosedale, which is Iowa and Illinois, I believe. You've got Paul Bunyan's Axe, which is Wisconsin, Minnesota. You've got the Old Oak and Bucket, which is Purdue and Indiana.
Is Kasey still playing for Minnesota? Is he?
I don't know.
Gotcha. Clemson transfer.
Michigan State play for the Paul Bunyan Trophy, which is a massive trophy. Floyd of Rosedale. Yeah, it's a bronze pig. I think that's Iowa, Minnesota.
Allow the teams to kind of stretch back out here.
Muppet Babies. Casey Washburn. And then you got Fraggle Rock, which I wasn't a big fan of, but their hair was funny. But you can't top G.I. Joe and Transformers. Those are my favorite cartoons as a kid. And He-Man. G.I. Joe, Transformers, He-Man. Nothing?
Way before my time. I'm kidding. I don't make Coach Blue seem that old.
Hey, think about what toys you're talking about in the late 70s, early 80s. Their arms only moved at the shoulders, swiveled. And then G.I. Joe comes out and their elbows and their wrists move. And then Transformers come out and you turn a Lamborghini into a robot that moves fully functional. You talk about groundbreaking Christmas, man.
Yeah, and now everything's on the iPad.
Yeah. Derek Smith tuning in. Must have a bye week up there in Georgia. How are those Macintosh? I think are they the Indians? Macintosh Indians?
Not sure.
Braves? Give a shout out to my man Quentin Short. They have a bye week this week. They're 5-0 at Piper. Won a big game last week. They won their first district championship in 20 years last year, his first year as head coach at Piper.
All right. Should be getting back to action here any moment. (48-7) Osceola over Melbourne.
No shutout.
No, certainly not. And the most points Melbourne's given up all year. Had pitched 2 straight shutouts. But as Panucci said, it was going to be a tall task. All right, Blue, so after the penalty and the delay in play, we have a 4th and long. Heritage did block the last punt before the penalty. 23 is going to catch this one on the bounce.
There goes the freshman.
All the way back to the 30-yard line, Coach. I mean, he couldn't have got a better bounce than that.
I like the aggressiveness. He gets a shot at punt return. I'm going to go get it. And we've said this many times this year. He doesn't play like a freshman.
No, not at all.
He just happens to be in a crowded receiver room with a bunch of talented guys in front of him. If he played for some other schools around here, he'd probably be the guy.
How are the stands looking out there? Are they emptied out?
No.
Little jet sweep action to Samuels. He's going to cut this one upfield. J.R. Samuels still carrying the pile all the way down to the 14-yard line. Gain of 15 for J.R. Samuels. Looked like that was supposed to be kind of a jet sweep kind of reverse action, and J.R. made something out of nothing. Handoff goes to number 30. Nowhere to run this time. He will pick up one.
Nice job on the edge there by South Fork. Keep that outside arm free and keep contain and force it back inside. Don't get reached.
Flags come flying in. We're going to have a false start, I believe. Handoff Francis again. Fight forward for a gain of 3. It's going to bring a third down and 11 for Heritage. This quarter brought to you by Natwick Insurance. 7:41 left in the third quarter. Summerall's going to try to hit JR on the back shoulder throw. JR slips. Ball was a little bit behind him. 4th and 11. True Smalls fashion.
Apparently, I'm supposed to be armed with beverages at all times.
Summerall takes a snap. Going to throw the quick. Cordero drops it. Wouldn't have been a first down anyways.
No.
Don't know if I like the concept there. Was, didn't even try to get a first down at all there. Turnover runs down. 1st and 10. South Fork, 7:27 left in the third.
You'd really like to see Heritage score on that drive. This is a game where they can hone in their offense, clean up mistakes, put up a bunch of points, get some momentum going. Now, you know, they're still up 28-3, but 2 of those touchdowns were on special teams, on kick returns.
Right. Number 11 drops back. He's looking, throws it to number 1. Nice sliding catch. Well, he does a good job of fading away and still being able, you know, putting a lot on the ball.
Yeah, he's not. He does not shy away from the rush. He steps up and delivers a good ball.
Second and 4 for South Fork. Handoff goes to number 7. Gain of 2. It's going to bring up 3rd and short. Direct snap to number 1. He's met immediately by Harper. Not going to have the first down. Harper and Hicks. As well as number 3, I believe that is Jelani Clark. Think we could skip the referee's water break after this play?
Yes.
Samuel's trying. Not going to be able to return this one. It's going to be fielded and downed by South Fork at the 39-yard line. And we have an official's timeout for a water break. If the 45-minute one wasn't long enough, I'm assuming it must really be a requirement.
Even after a 45-minute delay. Like MCC's up. Come on and refresh.
1st and 10 Heritage on the 39-yard line. Handoff Francis Blue. He explodes through the hole.
Yeah, he's so quick.
Gain
Not
of
only is
12.
he quick, but he runs hard. Heritage been able to run the ball at will tonight.
Sends Monroe in motion, hands off to Francis. Going to get to the outside, and he'll pick up about 4 yards. 2nd and 6 for Heritage.
It's like MCC up 38-0 in the 4th quarter on Veer.
That's pretty impressive.
Well, MCC's only loss was to First Academy, right?
Puts Monroe in motion, going to throw the swing out to him. He's got some room.
scoot back before I step on any more wires. First down, Heritage at the South Fork 23-yard line. Blue, I'm really curious to know this Titusville O'Galley score. We need some score updates dropped in the chat. Send Sammy in motion. He's going to flip it to him. Gets the edge, and he'll have a Heritage first down. So O'Galley Commodores tuning in. Maybe they'll drop the score of the O'Galley game for us. Second and 4 for Heritage.
Looks like Florida today has O'Galley 7, Titusville 3, with 3:45 left in the fourth.
That's a lot higher than a lot expected. Handoff Francis, ball's out. Recovered, I assume, by South Fork. They were the first ones on it. And it will be recovered by South Fork.
Another stalled drive for Heritage. And in that O'Galley game, the touchdown for O'Galley was an 85-yard scoop and score off of a blocked field goal.
So the O'Galley offense is not producing any
So
points.
no touchdowns by either offense if that score is accurate.
Got to throw the swing out wide, incomplete. Had to come back to the check down because of the pressure and was not able to get it to him. You got a satellite update?
Final score, Satellite 14, Palm Bay 10.
Wow. Blue, I mean, obviously I've been around for a while, but I couldn't tell you. I just certainly don't remember. Is there a time that Palm Bay's ever been 0-6? Maybe pre-1990s?
Not since I've been in Brevard, I don't believe.
11 throws a bubble screen out to the left side. He's going to be pushed out of bounds. Loss of 2.
Maybe COVID year, 19 or 20. Those 2 years they were.
I don't think they've
struggling.
ever been 0-6 though. You know, they're just going through it. You know, kids changes, coaching changes. So, John, the last score we had was 7-3 O'Galley over Titusville late in the fourth. Third and long. Quarterback going to throw a deep ball. He's got a man. Intercepted by Jelani Clark. He's going to take this one down the sideline. Goes airborne. They're going to mark him out at the 6.
Made a great play on the ball in the air.
Yep.
Had a guy wide open, but got there way too late.
He threw the ball to the top of the lights. .339 left in the third quarter, which seems like it will never end.
Murray lined up as the tailback for Heritage. That was a punishing run.
That was. He was not to be denied on that one. Good job up front.
Kick is up and good. 35-3 Heritage. It looks like the O'Galley title score is 7-3 as the final.
Seems like Titusville put up one heck of a fight.
Yeah.
They held O'Galley's offense out of the end zone. 85-yard scoop and score on a blocked field goal. O'Galley's only points. But the victory nonetheless for the Commodores, 6-0. Great defensive performance by O'Galley to hold Titusville to 3 points.
One more score here by Heritage. We can get ourselves a running clock. He's going to catch it and fall at the 28-yard line. We got something going on over here. Which way is this one going, Blue? I didn't see it. It's right in the middle of my...
I think it's going to be on Heritage. Personal foul on Heritage. Personal foul on, okay, so they called it on both of them. Had two guys rolling around on the ground. Heritage doing an outstanding job in the run defense against South Fork tonight. South Fork not able to mount any type of rushing attack, forcing the quarterback to do everything through the air, pressure in his face. Too much to overcome so far. Heritage controlling the box all night.
All right, 1st and 10, South Fork on their own 28-yard line. 3:31 left in the third quarter. Nowhere to go. Hicks and Murray on the stop.
Hasn't worked all night, and you really don't have time to do that at this point.
And Blue, I mean, I hate to keep beating a dead horse, but as sloppy as Heritage has looked on offense, their special teams came today. Their defense has been doing what they've done all year.
Yeah.
If they could just get some kind of rhythm
Yes.
developed on offense,
In
this
the
team
pass
has
game.
the potential.
Yes, they do.
That was a deep ball.
Good coverage. No, that's a terrible flag. Sorry. That was just great coverage. He's in his pocket.
And the DB does not have to turn his head.
And I believe that ball was at least 3 yards out of bounds. Oh, well.
So pass interference on Heritage.
Couldn't really have any better coverage than that.
Nah,
You're
not at all.
running right in the guy's hip
Yeah.
pocket. Ball's thrown 3 yards out
You
of bounds.
don't have to turn your head. Little jet sweep.
Not going to get it.
Bo Harper right there, loss of 1.
Not going to get outside, not going to get inside. South Fork in a tough spot right now.
Quarterback's going to be sacked by Amir Parker.
That Heritage front with a great performance tonight. I'll tell you, having Brock Eden back at end, that just changes everything.
He's a good football player.
You can do a lot of things when you don't have to worry about an end, that end is going to lock down. There's a lot of things you can do off of that. But when you're missing one of
We're
those
gonna get a
guys up
delay
front, you have
game
to
here, Blue.
shuffle them around. Now we go from 3rd and 21 to 3rd and 26.
With 1:14 left in the third quarter. Got another flag on the field. My man Cookie is not to be played with. He will throw that thing from the left hash, the right hash, the center of the field, the back of the field.
South Fork coach out on the field. Larry Torcha said, "Come on over here and I'll talk to you over here."
A very seasoned official right there.
Well, that's one way to get the coach off the field.
Yep, Torchy.
I'm not going to talk to you over here. Come talk to me over here.
Blue, I don't think this third quarter is going to end.
Well, we've covered everything from Jim Henson's arsenal of puppets to
Kirk Herbstreit's dog.
Kirk Herbstreit's dogs, bathroom routine, poopery. People that weren't tuned in during that break have no idea what we're talking about right now.
Unsportsmanlike on the coach. No sideline warning, straight 15-yard penalty.
And that's going to make it a 3rd and...
They're going to have to travel to South Fork for this first down. Just maybe we can get out of this third quarter and Heritage can get the ball back and score, and we'll get a nice run the clock and
3rd and 39, I believe, Billy.
get home before the next hurricane shows up, because it looks like it's building up there in the Gulf.
3rd and 41, I believe.
What you got in your playbook for this one?
Tailback screen. but everybody knows it's coming. So
Well, they just punted the ball on third down. Going to be fielded by Gillis. Brought down behind by number 3. All right, so I'm going to have to assume that they didn't know it was third down.
or it was fourth down and the sticks and the box man had the wrong number up on the box.
Or you're just trying to get a running clock and go home.
Well, I mean, you had a guy taken off the field on a stretcher, and just not a good night for South Fork. Hopefully that young man is okay.
Thompson checks in at quarterback for Heritage. Fakes it to Hunter. He's going to keep it himself. Gets skinny. Nice run, Coach. He's going to pick up about 5.
That jersey will not rip, by the way.
You know the guy?
I guarantee it.
That reminds me, I got a question for you off the air.
The Heritage Booster Club went Vapor Pro. Those jerseys are not going to give way.
Wonder what the Miami Virginia Tech score is. I know Miami was losing last I saw. Handoff 30. Bounces it. It's going to get a first down. Blue, I think he sticks his foot in the ground and gets vertical a little sooner. Every time I look up, that dang clock has stopped. 15 seconds left in the third quarter. This will be the end of the third quarter. 35-3, 24-17 Virginia Tech halftime. Okay. Boy, don't let Miami lose. Us Noles got a lot to say. I don't care how bad we are. The U can't be back until they win a conference title. I don't care how good the U is this year. I don't care how bad they beat Florida State. They ain't back until they win a conference title.
Well, Virginia Tech has a former Heritage Panther and Melbourne Bulldog at safety in Devin Alves.
Birthday was yesterday. 7-3 O'Galley won. 7-3? Yep.
And the Tigers are in the postseason. Let's go.
Michigan.
It's been 10 years.
Michigan wins tomorrow. Detroit wins Sunday.
Monday night.
Monday night. All right. Well, I guess you have an okay weekend here.
Be an epic
All right,
weekend.
could we get this quarter rolling any quicker? Where's Lloyd at? He'll cut it down to 8 minutes. That's what he did to me last week. For whatever reason. Thompson takes a snap. Going to pull it from Hunter. Keeps it to the outside. Touchdown, Heritage. We should have a running clock. And there it goes. When Vincent's 12-year-old son grows into his body, I mean, he's already bigger than half this Heritage team at 12 years old. Look at him.
Yeah.
Kick is up. Kick is good. 42-3, 11 minutes and rolling. We have finally entered a running clock here. I want you to go home and I want you to ask Julie what Billy said the score would be tonight. I said 40 plus.
Yeah.
I'm not there quite, but I have to speak to the defensive coordinator for giving up a field goal. Line drive going to be fielded by number 7. Tackled at the 32-yard line. And we're going to have a flag on South Fork. Not sure if that was a real flag or another Oscar-winning move by Mr. Hancock. Heritage making a lot of substitutions. Blue, 8 minutes left here in the ball game. Handoff goes right up the gut to number 1.
One of the best parts about winning a game big is you get to see some of your young guys on a Friday night, get some film on them.
Yep, Elijah Parks makes the tackle. I wonder if is he related to his brother that went to Iowa State? Played at Bayside?
From Bayside.
Little busted play there, got some room. Number 1, all the way up to the Heritage 34-yard line.
Nice play there by the quarterback, still fighting to the end. He's played a tough game tonight.
Thrown some great balls. I'll say he's well in front of the line of scrimmage. He's going to slide
That's a
down.
smart business decision right there.
Yeah, number 7 might bring the wood to you. So. Heritage providing pressure again. Blue, what the heck just happened there?
I think the defender thought he was going to release the ball, and in this day and age, didn't want to rough the passer, to be honest with you. He pump faked like he was going to throw it away, and the defender just pushed him. I don't know.
Tag, you're it.
I watch games nowadays, Billy, and I cannot believe the roughing the passer calls that I see. It's just unbelievable. You can't tackle a quarterback.
No. I got to get my man Jaheim Mays down here. He quit.
Was he getting down?
He was getting down. The camera is sensitive. I see why I don't run it. Touch it and then goes. Boop. 5:57 left in the ball game. What do you think IJ is telling the Silver Fox right now?
I don't know him that well, so hopefully he's asking him for some critiques. How can I get better?
Throws a deep ball. Almost catches it. Well, they got a pretty good relationship. Coached him when he was 12 years old, so, I mean, they've known each other for a while, so there's no telling.
Probably asking him, how can I get better? What could I do better?
Fourth and 6 for South Fork. 4:42 and rolling. Throws this one away. It'll be, there's a flag in the middle of nowhere. Holding on the defense. Appreciate you all tuning in and staying during the long break. I know we aren't the two most entertaining people to listen to. Sloppy ending here.
But hey, we didn't go to silence. We didn't go to break. We fought through. And we had some interaction. We had some Muppets fans out there, and
I always wonder, Blue, what it would be like if we did a little homework for these things, you know?
I think we need to have some trivia.
We used to have some
We used to have trivia. It was fun.
I know all the Melbourne trivia. I don't got nothing for you for here. Ball incomplete, intended for number 3. 2nd and 5.
I got a trivia question for you.
What you got?
When was the last time Heritage won back-to-back district championships?
I'd have to say during the Ulmer era, 14 and 15, maybe 15, 16.
Mark Ainsley's first year was 2014.
Okay, so That already tells you I have no clue what I'm talking about.
It was 17-18 under Mark Ainsley. Nigel Scott, quarterback of those two teams.
The poet.
Now, 13, 14, 15, they won 3 in a row. 13 Ulmer, 14 Ainsley, 15 Ainsley. They won 3
I
district
remember one
titles
year
in a
I
row.
came and watched Dalvin Cook and Joseph Yearby get loose up here.
Oh, yeah, that was... What a throw and catch. Is that a touchdown? What a great throw and catch. That quarterback's played a heck of a game tonight, Coach. He's been under pressure all night and stepping into throws, stepping into hits and making throws.
Do you think we'll see a kickoff with a minute left?
No, I don't.
Kick is good. So 42-10. South Fork gets one on the board late.
I think Larry's going to make the slowest walk over to the ball he can, and then the slowest walk.
I think he told him just to go ahead, line up. Blue, final thoughts tonight?
Heritage defense shows up again. Heritage special teams scores 2 touchdowns on kick returns. Heritage passing game was good in spots, but still some mistakes to clean up in the passing game and some chemistry to be found
Yeah.
in the passing game.
Another week of offensive showing flashes, but just no rhythm and no, couldn't really muster any consecutive things.
But the running game for Heritage was very good.
Yep.
They probably averaged 7 yards a carry, maybe 8 yards a carry. If they could just get that passing game going with that running game,
Yep.
and they've got time, but
They
not
will.
a lot of time.
We will be back next week. We appreciate you staying late, tuning in. Tune into the Brevard Sports Network post-game show live on BSN with Alan. And we appreciate it. Have a good night. Enjoy your weekend.